The first crucial thing that needs to be done, we need to hear the victims. And I believe that this purification process within the church is going to happen with the victims fighting for justice. We have to rethink about the formation of the priesthood and religious life. And we have to deal with this crisis from that point of view. Unfortunately, the perpetrators made use of their priesthood to give them access to commit sexual abuse on children or vulnerable adults. So we should have a strict filtering on those joining the seminaries or religious formation houses to prevent from having perpetrators of sexual abuse. There is a clear policies nowadays that when a person asks to join a seminary or religious order, there is a psychological screening that needs to be done in order to see if he's fit for religious life or the priesthood or not. But that's not 100%. We had perpetrators, recent ones, that they were filtered through the psychological screening, etc., and they ended up abusing children. So that's why I strongly believe that those information should be exposed to this wound that the church is experiencing, and they should be exposed to the victims of clerical sexual abuse. They should be invited in seminaries and formation houses to speak about their experience, and that makes them realize what the victim had to go through, what happened to them, and the grooming process. And for example, if you have an altar boy, he joined the altar boy group in order to serve on the altar, and ended up being a victim. So that would help the candidates for the priesthood and religious life to think also about their vocation. Am I here to minister the people of God or to harm the people of God? Am I capable of living this life or not? Am I capable to take care of the flock? Or there is a chance that I turn into a wolf towards the flock? So we need to train seminarians and religious information about their boundaries, how to live their chastity, how to live their celibacy. And the church needs to help the candidates for the priesthood and religious life to make a proper discernment of their vocation. If there is a true vocation, if they are capable of ministering for the people of God. Children need to be trained about their boundaries, what to accept and not to accept from an adult. But I believe that the major thing that needs to be done is the change of mentality within the church, the change of mentality of those in leadership of the church, because there is still the mentality that children are lying when they report a sexual abuse. This is something that is being done by the media or the press in order to damage the church. We're dealing with a life of a person. The wound that is being inflicted on the child or a teenager or a vulnerable adult when a priest or religious abuse that person, this is a wound that person has to carry all his life. And it's going to affect his relationship with others, the process of his education, everything. We still need more research to be done on how to deal with the situation and what's the major problems, what's causing this problem. But we can work on how to prevent, on how to provide a safe environment to the children in the Catholic institutions. And that's, we already have policies, and even thanks to the Gregorian University in Rome, they have a specific department that form religious and lay people and priests in safeguarding of children. We had lately the summit in Rome for all the bishops all around the world to speak and discuss this problem, but that's not enough. We have to move now from issuing documents to facts. We have to apply those policies, apply those documents in all the institutions of the Catholic Church. And that would be a start showing that we're really taking care of this issue. It's not something that we should hide or we should be afraid to speak about. There were mistakes, we should face those mistakes. In fact, Pope Emeritus Benedict XVI, he was the first one to speak when he wrote a letter to the Catholics in Ireland, and he made reference to the clerical sexual abuse. And even when he was head of the Congregation for the Doctrine of Faith, he was the first one who started dealing with this problem. And I think in the future we would be much more grateful towards Pope Benedict XVI that he was the first one to deal with this issue. But to remove this problem completely from the church, it is very difficult, I have to say. It is very difficult. Like when the state or a private hospital employs nurses and doctors, and schools employs teachers. Okay, now we have different means and ways, we have policies that we need to adhere with, but we shouldn't put our minds at rest 100% that we're not going to have child sexual abuse.